Hey, me again. One more tefillah. Let's do it. This one's going to be a little unusual though, because instead of just going through the prayer book, which we will do a fair amount of that too, I'm going to do some of the service from its original sources. So I'm going to find the sources in the various different books, not everything, but many things, and then I'm going to show it to you, and we'll do it from the original sources. So let's begin. We'll start with Nisimbahoyom, right? That sounds like a good one to start with. So Nisimbahoyom, the way you find Nisimbahoyom, is to look in the Talmud. So I got a copy of the Talmud here. This one is on page 60b. So you got to find 60b. Here, I'm going to show it to you here. And by the way, the English, you can see it's on page 60b. And the reason why it's 60b, not 60a or whatever, just because that's how they do it in the Talmud. They say, oh, it's, you've got a piece of paper and it's either on the A side or the B side of a piece of paper. And on this page of Talmud, as you can see, and then this is a little closer up on what the Talmud looks like. And we would... Let's see if I can find it here. I put a little mark there not to forget. So, the Talmud oftentimes is abbreviated, but so Baruch Asher Natan Lesech Vivina Lehavchin Ben Yom Uvein Laila, and then Ki Patach Einahu, when you open your eyes. Baruch Pokeach Ivrim Ki Taritz Vayitev Lima Baruch Matir Asurim Ki Levesh. That just means like when you where I said Matir Asurim, right? When you get washed, you should say Malbish Arumim Zokef Baruch Atah Adonai Zokef Kefufim. And I know it doesn't have the Eloheinu Melech Haolam, but that's because it's a little abbreviated here, but you get the point. This is how they came up with the blessing. This one is Ki Nichet Le'ar'ah, which is straightens the when he lights upon the floor, he should say Baruch atah Adonai rokaha haaretz al hamayim. And then when it says Baruch HaMechin Mitzadei Gaver, who straightens up the person who's bent. Kiseyem Misena, when he puts on his shoes, you should say Baruch Sha'asali Kol Tzorchi. I'm not going to translate anymore. Ki Asa Haminya Lima Baruch Atah Adonai Ozer Yisrael Bigvura. Ki Paris Sudra Aresha Lemila Baruch Atah Adonai Oter Yisrael Betifara Kimatef Betzitzit. When you put on tzitzit or talit, you say Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Asher Kitshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lehitatef Batzitzit, and that's a prayer we say when we put on your talit at the beginning of your bat mitzvah. So, cool start, right? Definitely cool start. Let's. There are more. By the way, obviously we missed a couple of the ones, and it's in a different part of the Talmud, but I didn't have that book with me. I could find it online, but I figured I would resist that temptation. So, let's continue. Maybe the next thing we'll do is the Bahu. Now, the Bahu is also in the Talmud, but it's on a different page. So I'm finding in this copy of the Talmud. Oh, wait. This one. Here, found it. Okay, so the Bahu is on page 59b, and it's at the end of my little note to myself. So it says, it's hard. I know it's hard. It doesn't have vowels, but since you know the words, you can probably do it. So it says, when you have, well, this says, when you have a bunch of people who gather, what should you say? And then it says, Bahu et Adonai. That's just the hey right there as a way of saying Adonai. Rabbi Ishmael said, Bahu et Adonai HaMivorach. And we went with Rabbi Ishmael said. So, we can sing that. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. So I think you know that the next thing we would do would be the Yotzer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, Yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, ha'me'ir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reishit. Let's stop there, because what I thought we would do is, once again, go back to the text for Yotzer, where we can find it. So, other version, this book of the Talmud, it's on page 11b. Now, this is a little bit harder to be able to follow, but I think you're going to be able to do it anyway, because it's a discussion about, some of the words and how it goes. And so here we are in the Talmud, and it says, Yotzer or uvorei choshech. One should recite the blessing, Yotzer or uvorei choshech. Lema Yotzer or uvorei. Noga, why not say who forms the darkness, light and also twilight? Because it's written, this is the proof for it, doesn't make a difference. Why, you should say, Oseh Shalom, I just saw it there. How did I lose it? Oseh Shalom Uvorei Ra. Why not say Oseh Shalom Uvorei Ra? Maker of peace and also the maker of bad. You know how we say Oseh Shalom Uvorei et Hakol. And then it goes on to say, no, instead, Ele Kativ Ra. Instead of saying Ra, instead add Hakol. And then it goes on to say, Yotzer or uvorei choshech, excuse me. So, and then Amar Abaye, so this guy named Rabbi Abaye said, you should also say Golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or. So I know this is complicated. What I'm just trying to do is show you how, and don't worry, no one's going to be expected to do any of this, for your bar mitzvah to read or bar mitzvah to read right out of the Talmud. But I just thought it would be kind of fun to be able to study it from or see it from its original text. So let's go back to this. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai kulam b'chokhma asita mal'a ha'aretz kinyanecha titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha ve'al me'orei or she'asita yifa'arucha sela or chadash al Tzion ta'ir v'nizkechu lanu mehera le'oro baruch ata Adonai yotzer ha'me'orot. Very good. So instead of doing the Shema from our text, why not let's do it straight from the Torah. So this is a Bible. You can find one of these. We're on Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 19. And it goes from here. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod is in a different place. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele. Asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantaham levanecha v'dibarta baham b'shivtecha b'vetecha uvlechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot ben einecha Uchtavtam amzuzot betecha uvisharecha. And then the Laman Tizkaru part is from Numbers. Let's see. It's all the way at the bottom of the end of chapter 15. Verse 40, as you can see. Oops, a little bit. Probably be nice if I make it a little bit easier for you to read. There we go. Leman tizkeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kedoshim leloechem. Ahani Adonai Eloechem. Asher hotzeiti etchem mieretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. So maybe the next thing we might do at your bar bat mitzvah is sing, Micha Mocha, which is the song of the sea. So this is what it looks. This is Exodus chapter 15, verse. Well, it's not 18, but that's where the top of it is. And then, but here it is. Ya bye bye bim bidi bye ya bye bye bim bam ya bye bye bim bidi bye ya bye bye bim bam bye ay ya 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 bye bye bim bam ay ya 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 bye bye bim bam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar bakodesh norati hiloto sefele Norati hilot osefele. And so let's see. So maybe the next thing we might do Vishamru, which is also in the Torah, but we're going to skip because we're going a little long. And now go to the Tefillah. So the Tefillah is so the beginning part, which is Adonai sifatai tivtachu fi agid tehilatecha. Let's find that here. It's from the Psalms 51. We're at Psalm 51. And it's verse 17. Hopefully you can find it. Adonai sifatai tivtachu fi agid tehilatecha. Now let's go over. It's a little bit more difficult to do the to find all of the references in the original sources. So instead, we're just going to do it from here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Velohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Vanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Ahavot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Let's skip to Oseh Shalom. So the whole thing is found in a different place, but this is Job, the story of Job. Another time I'll describe for you about the story of Job. It's a really terrible story. But Vaya'an Bildad Hasochi Vayomar Hamoshel V'fachad Imo, dominion and dread are his. That's what Bildad said. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. V'imru, amen. Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Last one I want to show you, and then we're going to stop for today. Back in the Talmud again. It talks about, the blessing that you say, for the Torah. What did I do with here's my little pointer. My pointer. All right. So, it's talking about the various different things you should say and blessings that you should say. When you're studying or when you're doing, various different things you should say when you're studying or when you're about to read study from the Torah. Baruch atah Adonai hamlamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, O God, who teaches Torah to all of your people Israel. And this guy, Rav Hamuna said, he said, Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. And that's how we learned that one to be the blessing for us as well. So I hope that you at least found this to be mildly interesting to kind of see where the sources were for so many of these texts. And I look forward to seeing you again.